Hello, I'm Dr. Sam Hancock of the Emerald Planet and Emerald Planet TV. We come to you on a week-to-week basis from Washington, D.C. in the United States as we look around the globe in 144 different nations, looking for those 1,000 best practices, the technology, services, and products that are making a difference as we move through the 21st century. And as we have a planet of 9 billion people by 2038 and possibly 12 to 13 billion by the end of this century, how are we going to be able to take care of all these people on planet Earth? And that's what Emerald Planet's all about. We come to you looking at the solutions, the best practices from around the globe as we create the Emerald Planet. Hello, welcome to the Emerald Planet. We're making a difference as we move through the 21st century. And seeing the long-term impacts of climate change. We're glad to have you. Thank you for being with us.
We're looking at the continent of Africa. There's a program that we've had now almost a decade called Africa Fast Forward. And we've been looking at it because the incredible growth rate, now over 1 billion people on the continent, also the development as far as the various economies and many different nations among the member states, 54 of them to be exact. And the continent fits together very nicely. And so we're looking at this from the standpoint of the women's leadership called Africa's Titans. And they're making a huge difference as we move through the 21st century. And the one that's actually created this organization is called Kimberly Fogg. She's the founder and CEO of Global Sustainable Partnerships and the chair of the Women's Program Empowerment Council. And Kimberly, welcome back to the Emerald Planet TV.
Thank you, Dr. Sam. It's always great to be with you.
Well, we're glad to have you. Tell us just briefly a little bit about the Global Sustainable Partnerships and also the Women's Program Engagement Council.
Global Sustainable Partnerships was created to provide access to clean water for children in primary and secondary schools, orphanages, households, and health dispensaries. And we have won several awards for our Water is the Lifeline of Life because we've been able to totally get rid of cholera and typhoid in our schools. And WAPEC was created is because there's so many women that are out here doing wonderful things in Africa and in the diaspora, and they are creating small, medium enterprises and jobs within their communities. And so I thought that if I could create an organization of women who are actually working and providing jobs in their communities, then they would adopt Global Sustainable Partnerships as part of their corporate social responsibility and give back to their communities by providing access to clean water, connectivity, et cetera.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely fantastic. And looking at the continent of Africa, for the first time, the continent itself is dead center as far as the world maps are concerned. And it's supposedly proportional to its actual physical size vis-a-vis the rest of the world. Why is Africa now considered the center of the global map?
Because Africa is the next frontier. It is emerging markets. There are so many opportunities there for growth. You've got a lot of natural resources. And so the world is starting to recognize all that Africa has to offer everyone.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely fantastic. And looking at the continent, it really does fit together very nicely as far as natural resources, both for the mineral type and then forests, fisheries, agriculture, all the other.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's a very dynamic continent with 54 member states, and it's just incredible. But why the theme, Africa's Titans?
Well, African women have been profiled as women that are not doing wonderful things in their communities, but there is a new emerging dialogue with women, and now they've become business owners, they're entrepreneurs, they're managers, they're on board of directors, they become members of parliament. ambassadors, and even presidents. And so I wanted to make sure that we highlighted these women so that they could tell their stories in their own voices, so that they can actually encourage the next generation of young men and young women to pursue greater things within Africa.
Yeah, I tell you, I think it's fantastic. We're going to go back over some of the ones that we've already featured to catch up our viewers as far as the dynamic of what's going on. And so we're just going to talk through this. The first is a physician, very highly respected and internationally renowned through the United Nations, as well as the medical community on the African continent and even in North America. Who are we looking at here?
This is the wonderful and amazing Dr. Amal Dow. She is a surgeon. She's maternal health. She's created an organization called AIM, and she has helped thousands and thousands of women. She's just an amazing, amazing person.
Now, looking at, she's actually a practicing physician. Why is that
Yes.
so important to have a female that now, and more females that are becoming physicians, not just caregivers, nurses, other levels, which are critically important, but actually to be a physician in an operating theater?
Well, the importance of that is she's a role model. And so it gives young girls the opportunity to see someone that looks like them, that has become a surgeon, that has become a member of parliament. So that's the importance of making sure that we are showcasing these women.
Yeah, and also too is the way that she actually reaches out into the community and touches these lives, not only as a role model as a physician, but someone who really is a mentor and opinion leader. And she's doing
Yes.
this, in essence, one family, one mother at a time.
Absolutely. She has touched so many lives and so many different countries on the continent and even in the United States.
Yeah, I tell you, she's just amazing. But looking at the outreach that she's doing into the villages, the counties, the member states on the African continent, how is her impact going way beyond the operating theater and hospital?
Her impact is reach so many people worldwide because she's also a part of the Women's Organization for the United Nations. So her voice is heard around the world, and she is actually helping other communities that need maternal health, creating opportunities for women to have better health services. So she has really opened the door to really impact women's lives globally.
Mm-hmm. Okay, this next Dynamo, what is the work that she's doing in a very different way, but yet still being
Yes.
a role model and an example within not only her own community and her own nation, but way beyond that?
Yeah, this is the amazing Miss Awamari Khan, and she is doing this wonderful work called the Woman Boss and Innovate Gambia in the Gambia. And she is literally changing women's lives. She is mentoring these women. She's mentoring girls. She's having other people come in as mentors to give them advice and share knowledge and raise awareness of how to start a business, how to be a business owner, how to be an entrepreneur. So she is really making waves in these communities that typically don't have the kind of mentor or person like her to help women.
And it's just like Amy that we're looking at right here. She's very young, talented, smart, dynamic, but she's already started her own business. And again, this
Absolutely.
is through what's going on. So why is it so important that females not be working in business, but they actually own their own business?
Well, the importance of women having their own businesses, there's so many reasons why this is so important to the communities. One is they can provide financial support for their own families. They can provide childcare. They can provide better food to create healthier families. I mean, it just the impact alone of women having their own businesses and having their own money can really change the whole community, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is something we'll be talking with her in just a little bit. But this women and girls in leadership. Why is leadership so important? And the skills and but the attitude to be willing to lead, not just in your own home or among your extended family, but way beyond that in the community and even within the country.
Well, the importance of women leading creates opportunities for everyone in the community. And it's not just in their community, because you have neighboring communities that perhaps can come over and be a part of the meetings and the services that the Woman Boss provides. She provides safe spaces. And for women to have a safe space to be able to speak their mind and to actually hone in on their skills, and someone who is helping them with trying to figure out what's the best avenue for them to grow their business is so important.
Right. And these are just, I'm just going to go through this because we're going to be running out of time. Now, this is really someone on the opposite side of the continent from where we've been looking thus far. Who is this and what is her importance?
Oh, this is the amazing Koleswa in South Africa, and she is a powerhouse. She is an attorney by training. She is a developer, and she is building buildings, and she's creating opportunities for women to work and to be a part of her dynasty. And it's such a great opportunity, especially with the history of South Africa, to have a woman like Koleswa who is leading the way to create opportunities to help entrepreneurs and businesswomen.
Yeah, and this is some of her projects. Now, these are just
Yes.
absolutely amazing. And it's
Yeah.
not only that she's involved in South Africa, but she's actually expanding all across the continent. But
She is.
having people involved and to be doing these kinds of massive projects as a female, and she owns her own company, why is that
Yes.
so important?
Because there's so many reasons why this is important. It just gives young women and the next generation of women something to look up to, and someone to that they can aspire to be, which is just, it's important.
Yeah. And we're looking at more of the projects, and we're talking about the buildings, but also they're doing basic infrastructure such as roads and ports and
Absolutely.
shipping terminals, and that's very, very important. And of course, more and more they're getting into housing. They're working with the universities and other, national standing organizations. So, looking at how she's taking her thoughts forward, and we're running out of time. We got to be quick. Why is it so important? This interaction with females outside your own border state and also at the United Nations.
Well, the really important thing is some things that are working in one country may not be working in another country. And if you have these women that are creating these opportunities, they can actually kind of look at how they can help other communities succeed like they have, and vice versa. And that's what's so important about having a community of women throughout the continent, because it's about sharing ideas, it's about raising awareness, it's about communicating where there's opportunities, it's about communicating where there are jobs. So that's what's really important about what we are doing with WAPAC, because we want to create an unprecedented workforce throughout the continent and the diaspora.
And we have the volunteers right here. This is Kimberly L. Fogg. She's the founder of the Global Sustainable Partnership. Also, she's the chair of the Women's Program Engagement Council. Thank you for being with us as we create the Emerald Planet.